You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it's Sunday the 12th of May. Welcome to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It's episode 21. I've managed to do this every day for 3 weeks. So technically the podcast has come of age. That's good, that filled 17 seconds. Right, what I'm going to quickly talk about today, because I've kind of been thinking about what can I put in these when I'm not always talking about writing. And one of the things I did in the past was talk about what I'm reading. The problem is I haven't done much reading recently and I'm still reading the same book. I talked about nearly 2 weeks in the What Am I Reading Now section. So I can't do that. So I thought I would have a little rant. Now, the post office, these are the lovely people in the UK who deliver not everything. There are other companies out there, but one aspect of it is called the Royal Mail, and it delivers parcels. And one of the lovely things they've got now is you get an email when something's due to be delivered to you, and you can go in and change it. So, for example, if you're not going to be in, you can go and change the delivery date to one where you are going to be in. Last week I received, I think I showed them on my Twitch stream actually, but I collect certain Doctor Who things, not everything because there's so much stuff out there, but they did a David Tennant mini-series on audio. A company called Big Finish did, called Dalek Universe, and when they originally released the CDs and the downloads, they also released them on vinyl. I never bought them on vinyl, but I finally decided that I would quite like to own them on vinyl because they're a nice set of things. So I ordered them, and I saw that it was going to arrive when I was on my European tour last week. So I just said deliver it on the Tuesday, which was the day after the bank holiday Monday. So they delivered it to my next door neighbour, which was nice of them. I have no problem with that particularly, but it wasn't what I asked them to do, so I do have a complaint. I did complain. What I actually did was I lied a little bit and told them that the neighbour was going to be away when I got back. I wasn't back for a week, then the neighbour was away, and it was a gift I needed before I was going to see my neighbour again, so why on earth hadn't they followed my original delivery instruction? They didn't get back to me. I still have the reference number, and now I have another one because whilst I was away this time, I mean this is less good what I've bought this time. I fell victim to a scam. A scammer convinced me that buying a plushie based on my electricity and gas supplier would be a good idea. I'm sorry, God. Yes, so I bought this stupid plushie, which is representing Octopus Energy, and again got an email to say, oh, it'll arrive tomorrow. Changed it to deliver on the 13th, and they delivered it to my next door neighbour. Whilst my next door neighbour he saw I was in, dropped it round to me, and then found in the long grass outside my home, another packet that they'd just dumped. This is the post office or the Royal Mail, just dumped in my garden. It's a good thing I hadn't cut the grass, because otherwise they would have somebody might have seen it. Anyway, so there was another parcel just dumped. They hadn't left a message through my door or anything to say it was there. They literally just dumped it and run away. And what was it? Well, this is what slightly makes it relevant to this. It's a book. There you go, because this is a podcast about books. There you go. That is the entire explanation. No, it was a book that published by an independent publisher, and obviously I've been talking about independent publishers recently. So it was this tome, which I believe, I think I already knew it existed, but I know the person who's watching now mentioned to me, and it is the Doctor Who production diary of the William Hartnell era, and yeah, it's a lovely thing, but it was left out. Luckily it was dry at the moment, but it was left out in the rain by the post office. So I think the post office are doing a pretty piss poor job in my area at the moment. I already have one complaint reference number about the delivering the records to the wrong person on the wrong date. I am going to make a similar complaint about about my monster, who incidentally I have a name. I've got an official adoption certificate for my plushie here. Oh, of course, it's on the audio podcast. You can't see this, but yeah, I've got an official adoption certificate, and I've got to think of a name for it. So if anybody would like to suggest what I call my octopus, I'm not calling it Ollie. It's not being called Ollie the octopus. But anyway, yes. Anybody who wants to join me, anybody who listens to this podcast not long after it's released, I will be Twitch streaming me editing some of chapter 26. I'll talk a bit more about that in future podcasts. I need to think about some things I want to say in future podcasts, but today is very quiet. I have two people in the chat room now. Bow Street Society, who is Tani, who I interviewed a couple of weeks ago. Squishy the Squid, there we go. I've been given a suggestion. It's an octopus though. It's not really a squid. But thank you very much for suggesting that. So that's me done for the podcast for today. I kind of forgot halfway through that it was not a video podcast again, so sorry about showing stuff to the screen for you to look at when there is no screen. But I'll be back at the same time tomorrow to talk about something that is hopefully slightly more connected to writing than the failure to deliver properly by the Royal Mail of a pink octopus thing that may or may not end up being called Squishy the Squid. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.